first of all, thank you for having me here. And I just wanted to add how lovely it is to see some of the past ETP individuals that have gone through the process, and now a couple of them are helping us with the accreditation committee as well. So
Oh, brilliant. That's great.
It's a continuous cycle of progression. So that was really nice to hear their input as well. So I'm going to give you a mini induction onto what's involved within the BSc accreditation process. So whilst doing so, at the end of the presentation, I'll be around for any questions. So let's start. I trust that you can all see my screen.
I can do, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so interesting question before was where to start from or getting started. So for the BSc side, how to get started with the accreditation. So first of all, you need to be a BSc member, which means that you need a fully paid membership. You also need a designated mentor who can help you or guide you through the process, which has got two compulsory sections. First part is the written exam, and the second part is the practical assessment. You need to pass both sections in order to be fully accredited. So looking at the BSc membership, what does it give you? It gives you access to the exams and assessments, also the logbook portal. You can request your access before passing your written exam. The educational resources online, the Echo Journal, which we do send out via print. It's done every quarter. So do check your profile to make sure that you have selected the option to receive any post from us. And also you get access to the monthly accreditation clinics and the BSE team for further support. And that includes committee members as well. So accreditation clinics, these are live video calls with myself and members of the accreditation committee. They happen on the first Thursday of every month at 1 o'clock. And they have been really good for candidates who are going through the practical assessment in particular. So more of a prep call to check in with us to make sure that you're right on track in terms of your cases, or if you've got any queries regarding your accreditation, you can ask them over a call and you'll get an instant answer. Other resources, the learning material that we have, we've got e-learning modules, which for BSc members are predominantly free. And also the education tabs gives you the protocols and guidelines, which is a very handy section to download documents such as the minimum data set, which is what you should be scanning towards. So again, these are documents that you can download, keep to file and refer to as you are working on your case collection. And Cassia mentioned the regional representative network that we have. So this is a community of echocardiographers, which majority are accredited. So they've been through your process. They know what the struggles are and the pitfalls are. And if you need some general advice, especially within your area, you can see who's nearby your area. And again, this is a membership benefit. So once you've logged in to your account, you can have access to the regional rep network. So starting off, the accreditation pack. Now this document is going to be your best friend throughout the entire process. It's free to download and it's a complete full list of instructions on completing BSc accreditation. So you can visit the website www.bsecho.org and also follow us on social media where we do post regular updates on upcoming exam registration dates, any tips on achieving those, getting those video cases right in particular, along with the logbook. So anything that will help a candidate through their journey, we do post on social media. So do follow us, but overall, download the accreditation pack. To give you accreditation at a glance, this gives you an idea of what steps you need to take in order to reach your end goal, which is passing your accreditation. You'll be able to see that there are more green arrows than red arrows, and anything blue is linked to an application. So we've got more green arrows because we are trying to help you to achieve this, the pass status, over any other. So there's more routes to becoming accredited than the opposite. So overall, study the accreditation pack, preferably with your mentor. It helps to get two heads are always better than one. And if you've got your mentor on board, it's always handy to cross-reference and make sure that you are on the right page. You pass your written exam, then start collecting your cases. I know somebody did mention that you can start collecting your cases prior to passing your written exam. However, we recommend that don't go beyond 12 months before your written exam, and only if your cases meet BSE standards, submit them in. And as I think a previous individual mentioned, that they ended up editing a lot of the ones that they collected previously. So you check your work with your mentor, and once you've collected all of your cases, you can book onto a practical assessment. So looking at the training syllabus and the suggested reading list, this has been extracted from the accreditation pack. So this gives you an idea of what we're looking for, along with what you need to be reading up before your written exam. Looking at the written exam, now we deliver this in two parts on one day. So the first part is the MCQ, or known as the multiple choice question. I've got some examples here, again from the accreditation pack. So these are 25 questions that need to be answered within 60 minutes. The questions are designed to test the knowledge of echo findings, basic cardiology, and the physics of ultrasound. The second part of the exam is image reporting. So these are 50 questions centered around 10 patient case studies to be answered within 90 minutes. Each case will consist of relevant patient details and various echo images, which you can pause, go back on as you are answering those questions. You can pause and replay those particular cases. And again, I've provided some examples here from the accreditation pack. So we use a company called Pearson VUE Test Centres to help us deliver our written exams. They've got test centres all across the UK and some overseas areas as well. So there's a particular process when you're applying for the written exam. There's a pre-registration window which we need everyone to sign up to in terms of filling this online form that gives us authorization to transfer your data to Pearson VUE. So that's why that step's quite important, that you keep an eye on those pre-registration dates and you do complete it within that time frame so we can send your data smoothly across to Pearson VUE. They've also got some good resources on their website of what to expect at a Pearson VUE test centre. So do check that out. So what happens after the written exam? Once you've passed, you'll receive information via email on what to do to prepare for your practical assessment. You'll be given a clear step-by-step guide on what's needed. Preparing for your practical involves collecting your logbook and Viva cases and checking that you're scanning to BSE guidelines. That's where the minimum data set comes in quite handy from the education tab to have that to hand. So you are scanning and reporting to those guidelines. So once you've purchased your membership, you can request access to the logbook portal, which you can do before passing your written exam. So you've got everything ready and you're becoming familiar with the system as well. So it's always handy to do that once you've signed up for your membership. The logbook submission, the case mix here has been taken from the recent accreditation pack. In a nutshell, there are 250 reports that need to be performed and reported by you. The logbook needs to demonstrate your ability to meet BSE competencies, which are on Appendix 2 of the accreditation pack. And your logbook should reflect your best clinical practice. See Appendix 8 for the logbook marking guidance and criteria, so you'll get an idea of what the examiners are looking for when they're marking your logbook. So the logbook portal, it's a web-based platform onto which you can upload your 250 reports to. To request access, you simply email accreditation@bsecho.org with your BSc ID number and the accreditation type you are pursuing. This is because we've got various templates on the portal and we just need to assign the correct one to you. So for you, for example, it's going to be TTE, which is transthoracic echo. Some of the features on the portal, you upload PDF reports, which you can anonymize by using the redacting tool. And also when you are uploading your cases, you can select which pathology to add them under. So there's a drop-down menu here, but also clearly title your case along with the date that you performed the study. And again, once you choose file that you'll upload from your system, you can make case comments between you and your mentor. So these comments disappear once you've submitted your logbook, but it's quite handy for you to converse with your mentor and vice versa. When talking about mentors, that part's going to come soon. So support and information. Logbook reports should reflect the latest BSc guidance. However, we understand where local policy deviates from this. You can provide a supporting letter from your head of department and upload that to the optional supporting information section, and it explains why you haven't carried out your studies to BSc guidance and what the local policy is for doing so. So make use of that section, because that way your examiner will have a better insight of why, a better understanding behind your work. So the mentor section, we need you to let us know who your mentor is. We need to know their full name and their email address. Trusting that you've already spoken to them and you've told them that you're about to do this, a mentor cannot come to us directly and request to be a candidate's mentor. We need your authorization for that because it's your work. So the mentor, once you've told us who your mentor is, we'll create a separate login for them and assign your logbook template to them so they've got access to what you are uploading. And when they're happy with your reports, they will go through the competency section and just sign off, literally by clicking sign off on those sections. And similar to that, they'll do the same thing for the mentor statements, which is to confirm that they are happy with your submission. So your logbook submission, once you've uploaded all of your reports, fully anonymized, your mentor has completed their review and sign off. Your head of echo will need to validate your logbooks. So when you go to hit proceed or submit, a box will appear asking you to enter your head of echo's email address. And from there, your head of echo will be notified that, are you happy with this logbook being submitted, which they just need to click yes or no. In which case, again, all of this information will be relayed to you. So this is something recent that I've done, is just to give candidates an idea of how the examiners are marking your logbook and what they're looking for in terms of the criteria. This is the mark sheet that they have, that they go through when they're going through each of your cases. So is it fully anonymized? Indication for echo present, appropriate measurements are present, appropriate Doppler calculations present, and so forth. Once they've, ideally, they need to tick yes to all of these questions. If there's a no in, I believe, 2 or more of those, then an examiner could ask to see more examples of that particular case. The scanning assessment. So here you need to acquire up to 10 different echo imaging views within 20 minutes on a real-life model or a simulator, the use of which we will let you know well in advance, and how we decide on what we're going to use is usually narrated to us by the hospital in terms of the infection control. Depending on the time of year, if it's high infections are around, then we'll use a simulator for safety. Otherwise, we'd go with a real life model. So there's a pass mark to achieve. And again, this is another extract from the accreditation pack that gives you an overview of the marking criteria. Of a pass is worth 3 points. Now the weightage, once totaled, it gives you a trigger score of 66%. Once you get that, your examiner will talk to you and explain to you that, well done, you've passed, and give you a bit of feedback on how you did. But these are the views that you'll be expected to get within that section. The Viva cases, these are 5 patient case studies. All must follow the BSE guidelines. They need to be on PowerPoint presentations, and they'll be presented to your assessor on the assessment day. And the mark sheets, which the assessors use, are on Appendix 11 of your accreditation pack, which I'll show you an example of very shortly. But yes, one of the previous panel members did mention that, yeah, talk through your presentations. You should know your cases really well, and yes, bring all 5 cases and just make sure that that's your best work. We say they all 5 need to follow BSE guidelines. Where we've been shown a bit of flexibility for the logbook cases, we're saying just the 5 cases, we just want to see that you understand the BSE guidelines. You can demonstrate your understanding of the guidelines. So the Viva case mark sheets, again on Appendix 11, the examiner is ideally looking for satisfactory practice in all of these areas. If you get a few ticks hovering over into the red section, you could be asked to redo a particular case or show a new example of one. But this could be a good exercise for you and your mentor to sit down and have a look at your video cases and just have a good look and just see, are you hitting these areas in the satisfactory section? So do make use of the mark sheets that are already there, because they are the actual ones that we use on a practical day. Talking of which, on an assessment day, this is a typical candidate pathway. So logbooks are submitted and reviewed before the practical assessment, usually 8 weeks in advance. On the practical assessment booking page, we'll give you a deadline of when your logbook must be submitted. Now, we do this to make more space for candidates on the day. So part of this logbook project is done remotely. We retrieve all of the results to the logbooks before the practical assessment, and that's given to you on the day. So when you come in, we'll ask to see your ID, your photographic ID. It can be your work one as well. It doesn't have to be your government one. So we'll see, get you signed in, give you your name badge, and then you'll be guided into station 2. There'll be a senior examiner who will be taking you from station to station at every point. And plus, you can look out for the individuals in green. So the green team, which is the operation, the BSE Ops team, we're going to be there too to help support you through the day. So once you've completed the scanning section, you'll be guided over to the Viva case section. Once you've completed that, you'll get your feedback, and a lot of the feedback will be verbal, but the examiners will be documenting this as well at the same time. They'll keep hold of your mark sheet and they'll transfer over to one examiner to the other until you come to the results desk, whereby you'll receive your logbook feedback. If it's a clear-cut pass for the logbook, the feedback is on the portal and we'll notify you of this. And this is going to be probably just after the practical assessment. But on the day, if there are any concerns with the logbook, we do have senior logbook examiners on site who will talk about your feedback, will discuss your feedback with you and explain what needs correcting in this particular area. So the result can either be a pass or a repeat. Now, candidates only repeat the unsuccessful part, not the whole lot. So only the areas which need a bit more work. So the outcomes, if it's a pass, you receive full BSc accreditation valid for 5 years. And if you're really passionate about teaching and so forth, you can, after 3 years of holding your accreditation, you can apply to be an examiner. If it's a resubmission, it just means a little bit more work is needed. So again, you'll receive feedback verbally plus in written form as well. Then to add to that, we will send you an email to specify all of the steps that you need to follow to resubmit. And there is a resubmission fee that applies. So who are our assessors? They are volunteers, and they're volunteers who work full-time within the healthcare industry, predominantly the NHS, and there's even some individuals that are from private sectors as well. So again, the accreditation department relies heavily on the work of our volunteers who help assess the exams, contribute to the development of the exam content, and even with some of the development of our processes as well. The volunteers agree to help us during set timeframes, which have been previously agreed. And this is why we need to stick to firm deadlines. This is why we cannot flex out any ad hoc requests. We really do need to honour and respect the time that our volunteers give to us. This is a recent piece which I really felt was quite important to include, and it's feedback from candidates who've been through the process. This is from the last couple of assessments that we've had that I wanted to share with you. So this is what candidates have been saying. Everyone was fab and accommodating, excellent teamwork, very friendly staff and helpful throughout the process. Thank you all. Very happy with my experience, very nervous throughout image acquisition station, and reassurance provided from my assessors was very helpful. Proud to be a part of the BSc, and I just want to thank the BSc accreditation team. It was a beautiful, seamless examination. My assessors were kind and helpful. Thank you, BSc. And everything is perfect. Service and assessors were great. And thoroughly enjoyable assessment. Now, I've never had an exam where I could hand on heart say that I've enjoyed it, but the fact that we've got candidates providing us this kind of feedback is very heartwarming. So everyone was incredibly kind, friendly, making a very stressful situation far less intimidating. I would like to register my interest in helping out in the future, wherever aspects you feel I could help with at this stage as a newly accredited physiologist. The day was smoothly run, very well done to everybody involved, and I was nervous beforehand, but ended up enjoying the experience. So this is just some of the feedback we've been receiving, not only from the last couple of assessments, but probably since I've been doing these assessments, which are spanning over 10 years. So definitely over the last 8 years, we've seen that the difference in feedback that we receive. But this is where we are today. So in terms of the BSc accreditation process, we are here to support you. So here's the team, which predominantly just myself. I run the accreditation department, and I'm supported by Jessica as well. And we've got a new starter, Sophie, who you're likely to be interacting with as the new accreditation officer. But yes, we've got Dan, who's our president. He's been absolutely fantastic. And we've got Wendy Gamlin, who's going to be our next president, but she's our honorary secretary at the moment. Joe Sapala, our chief executive, who helps guide us in the right direction. And we've got Helen, who manages our governance and publications. Then we've got a very important team member, Louise Hart, who manages our finances, and she's supported by Keitha. Then we've got Hattie, who looks after our marketing and education department, and she's supported by Lindsay. And then we've got Dawn, who takes care of our membership. And we've got Angela, who works on our website. So we are a relatively small team, and you're going to get to meet the majority of us at your practical assessment. So we're here to help you and we're easy to reach out to. But with that, I will urge that you scan the QR code here, download the accreditation pack, or visit the website to download that one document that's got easy links to the website as well. So you've got it to your hand at all times. So that is my section done. I'm open for any questions.